Hey all, thanks for joining me this week on the Michael Muldoon podcast. Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday already again. It's crazy. The weeks are flying. It's kind of scary. We had moved, so that took up a lot of my time, and we're also opening our business, which is taking up more of my time. And then, being a husband, being a father, and all the other kids things that we have to take care of. So ultimately, you just got to be really good with time management. And that's what I'm doing right now. I found a little bit of time. Let's get the podcast in because this has to be on tomorrow. Like I said, every Friday, new episodes. Make sure you're tuning in. Let everybody know. Today, I just want to jump into something. Here's the thing. We have this challenge where a lot of us, we just sort of continually cling to the person who we think we are. But what about if we stopped clinging to this idea of who we've always been? What if identity wasn't something fixed for life, which realistically it's not, but just a project, for some people to help you look at it, just a project that got you kind of to revisit it every 90 days, right? So the thing is, most of us don't resist change because we're lazy or unmotivated. We resist it because we're too loyal to a version of ourselves that really no longer fits. We keep showing up as someone who's basically already left the building. But that's why I kind of came up with this idea I've been thinking about called the 90-day identity loop. It's just a way to break the cycle and step into a more intentional version of ourselves one season at a time. And that's what we're going to talk about. What is this 90-day identity loop? Well, to be honest with you, the idea is really influenced by thinkers like James Clear and Benjamin Hardy, who they've really explored how identity shapes behavior and vice versa. And I've kind of taken those insights and distilled them to more of a simple seasonal structure, right? Like every 90 days, you constantly reinvent who you are. So basically at its core belief, what I know is that you are not your past. And this is one of the biggest challenges with people. They think they're their past. You are not. You are a pattern of your past, right? So if you can shift your pattern, you can shift your identity. So instead of identifying yourself by who you've always been, you begin to live from who you are becoming. You name that version of yourself. You give it values. You anchor it in some small daily behaviors. And then you observe, are you truly being this version of yourself? Or are you just performing it? So the thing is, you might say, well, why 90 days? Well, 90 days just always seems to be the sweet spot, right? It's long enough to create meaningful change. It's short enough to maintain focus and momentum, and just the right length to keep you from drifting into autopilot. So we already think in 90-day cycles anyway in other areas of our life. So if you think about it like fitness or programs or business quarters or academic terms. So why not just apply the same structure to personal identity? Now, this isn't about constant reinvention for reinvention's sake, okay? It's about seasonal living. It's asking about, every few months, who am I now? Who am I becoming? And hopefully it is becoming the person that you want to become. Maybe a little bit more outgoing, maybe a little bit more focused, a little more goal-oriented, whatever it is. But again, by giving you this window to work within, it gives you sort of license to be that way without feeling like, well, I'm going to try to change who I am today, but oh my God, it seems insurmountable. So you're just giving yourself, hey, I'm going to work within this window for 90 days, right? So to really begin the loop, you just got to start by naming, what is your next self? So maybe it's something bold, something evocative, personal. Maybe it's I'm the calm architect or the focused builder or, the bold connector. This name becomes sort of a symbol. It's a container for your new direction. Next, define these guiding beliefs, statements that reflect how this identity thinks and acts and, relates to the world. Examples like I speak with clarity or I act before I hesitate. I rest without guilt. I don't know what it's going to be, but you have to define that. Because ultimately there's somebody you're trying to become. Like I was talking about my podcast. I'm not saying that I guess what I should say is my core audience tends to be people who are doing okay, just want to do a little bit better. So again, here, when you're going through this, it's just figuring out, there's something you'd want to be doing a little bit better. There's a version of you that you'd like to kind of put out there to the world. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what this is kind of about, right? And once you choose how you want to define yourself here, then choose that one embodied habit that's going to allow you to do that. Something simple and repeatable, what brings your identity to life. It could be journaling, walking 10,000 steps, connecting with one person daily. Maybe you're in sales. Maybe you just want to get out in the world more. You want to get out from behind the computer. You want to become more social, whatever, or just speaking your mind once a day. Maybe you're somebody who wishes they were more outspoken about things, but you kind of just hide back in the shadows. Well, you know what? For these next 90 days, you're going to be that person, because what happens is eventually you do become that person. It doesn't become the act anymore, and you be able to shift. And I would track that shift if I was you. Each week, reflect. Are you becoming this version of yourself, or are you just pretending to? Are the beliefs and behaviors aligning with the identity you named? Because the thing is, look, the real kicker here is when you do this, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get intentional about it. Because again, your identity isn't found, right? And I think that's what a lot of people do. They hold on to that. They just hold on to well, this is who I am. Your identity is built. And the real thing is it's allowed to change. We're not trees. We're not statues. We're not, story-driven creatures who get to choose the role we play and remain there. So instead of dragging this old version of yourself that you might be unhappy with into your future, why not give your future a name of the person you want to become and be that? The thing is, if you give yourself permission to become someone new for just 90 days, who might that be? Who might you become? And just how might that change your life or just improve it a little bit? If you just stop really reporting to that outdated version of you that no longer serves you. After all, everyone has just a little bit of room for improvement. So by putting yourself in this little window of 90 days, you give yourself license to say, okay, I'm going to try this, but there is an end date, right? So it's not like I'm committing lifelong term to this. There's an end date. But I think what's going to happen is, like anything, once you start that change, it becomes easier and easier, and that change just becomes who you are. All right. So if you're looking to get a little bit better and there's something you want to work on, try that. The 90-day loop there, 90-day identity loop. All right, everybody. I appreciate your time. Thanks for listening. Make sure we're listening on, we're subscribing on the Apple, the Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Share it with your friends. And of course, comments and reviews are always greatly appreciated. And as always, have a great week. It's been beautiful out here lately. Absolutely beautiful. So you have a great weekend. Be safe. And as always, I got another level.